Hello, my name is Mr. Rankin, and welcome to International Business 110. This is a short overview to give you a little course introduction, a little Blackboard tour, and hopefully we get started on the right foot here. There's my email address. That's the best way to reach me, but it'll be all over Blackboard, so hopefully that won't be a problem. Let's get started here with the textbook. Global. We'll be using the second edition by Michael Penn. There's the ISBN number. You can purchase online a new textbook for about $50, a used one for $25, or you can rent it for $15. If you purchase used or rent, you won't have the code for CourseMate, but we will use CourseMate as a supplemental tool. There won't be any assignments related to CourseMate, so it's optional whether you want to buy it. So buying a used textbook for $25 is absolutely okay. There's me. I've got an MBA from UNC Chapel Hill, about 30 years of business experience, and been teaching for about 3 years. You can read more about me on Blackboard. First week checklist. Once we get started, make sure you purchase the textbook. We'll be using the textbook a lot. Make sure you get familiar with Blackboard. Take the tour, which I'll take you through here in a minute. Make sure you activate your Wake Tech email. I can't email you to your personal email. And we're going to get started right off the bat. There'll be weekly assignments, so make sure you complete the first week's assignment. How this online course is going to work, there'll be weekly lessons. Those lessons will be due each Friday at midnight, but I always give students a one-day grace period, so it'll say on Blackboard Friday at midnight. You really have till Saturday at midnight. Every lesson will come with a checklist of what's due, a reading assignment, an instructional video, a graded quiz, and a graded discussion board. Now, in addition, sometimes there'll be tests, sometimes there'll be a project due, etc. So be on the lookout, but those will always be in the checklist. How do we grade? 60% of your grade is based on tests. There'll be 4 unit tests and a final. I will drop the lowest one. So 4 into 60, each one's worth 15%. There'll be 20 quizzes, or 20% will be based on the chapter quiz. And again, I'll drop your lowest one. Discussion boards, that's 10%, that's weekly. Now, the discussion boards are very important from an attendance standpoint. That's how we take attendance in this course. And if you miss more than 2, you're subject to being withdrawn or dropped 1 letter grade. So don't miss the weekly discussion boards. And 10% is based on the project. And that we do grade on the Wake Tech 10-point grading scale. Because I drop your lowest test, I don't take late tests. So if you miss one, it'll just get dropped. No late quizzes. And we talked about the 90% attendance rule, which is enforced. And the way I take attendance is based on your discussion board participation. Quick overview of the course. To me, it's a very fascinating course. We talk about the foundation, how there's a tremendous increase in interdependency in the world, especially since World War II. We'll talk about how it affects your career, different cultures, different economies, different levels of natural resources. Unit 2 will talk about international trade and foreign exchange. Unit 3 will talk about the management of global businesses. So how do you enter a foreign market? How do you manage foreign subsidiaries? And Unit 4 will talk about corporate social responsibility. So lots of ways to get in touch with me. Email usually works best. I have office hours, which will be on Blackboard. We also, for general questions, will have a question form in Blackboard. So I'm going to pause it now and go to Blackboard and give you a quick overview. Okay, here's our Blackboard site, International Business 110.0.0.03. And here are all our tabs. The first section is tabs that we will use primarily at the beginning of the course. Please, very first thing you do in this course is go to the course entry quiz. click right here, take the quiz. Begin and answer the questions, and make sure you save and submit. It is not graded quiz. It is just a quiz that gets you into the course. I have no flexibility. If you do not take the course entry quiz by the certain date, you will be withdrawn from the course. Please take it the first day of the course. So that's the course entry quiz, and that'll go away after we get it all done. The next one is announcements, where I will generally post things of interest to folks. The next tab is getting started and the schedule. So what we have over here is some things to get started. There's the course entry quiz. I have the master schedule, so week by week what we'll cover and all the key dates, textbook information, and all the syllabus information. And down at the bottom, actually a link to the first week's assignments under lessons. This will just take you to the first week lessons. So make sure you walk through this whole getting started tab. The next background information tab is the faculty information, and that's a whole bunch of stuff. You can read my background and stuff, etc. This next tab, email Mr. Rankin. If you need to email me, and I encourage you to anytime, if you just hit that key, it's very handy for me, because what'll pop up is what section you're in, exactly who's writing me, what section there is, and hopefully you can appreciate with 300 students, it's helpful for me and I can respond quicker to you if I don't have to figure out which class you're in. Okay, so this first section is all about background stuff. This middle section is the section most of you will be interested in. This is where the lessons are, the discussion board. This is where you can post any questions, general questions you have for me or the class. This will give us an overview of the project. Then we have some study resources, the summary PowerPoint charts if you want those. And then the My Grades tab will tell you what your average in the class is at any time. So if you click on the Lessons tab, what will come up is a week by week, and I open them all up at the beginning of the semester. So if you need to work ahead because you know you're going to be out of town, you're perfectly welcome to. So week 1, you'll click on this, and you'll have a checklist of information. So here's a checklist. Anything in bold needs to be submitted. And then normally what you'll have is a video, either from me or from other folks. So I've produced videos of my own and have a YouTube channel that you can follow, or you can just watch the video here on each chapter. This is some preliminary information I want you to go through. And then there'll be a quiz each week, and there'll be a link to the discussion board each week. So make sure you complete. So you've got a checklist so that you know what needs to be done. The discussion board, you can either hit the link or you can click on the discussion boards, and here are all the discussions. And again, they're all out there. So each week you'll generally write 5 to 8 lines. I do not require you to respond to other folks' posts. You're welcome to read them. The first one is an introductory, and then we get into some interesting videos where you'll be discussing different topics related. The next tab is a questions tab. That's where if you have general questions, so if you have specific questions, email me. But if you have a question about the course that might be interesting for everybody to know the answer to, like let's say you don't understand what the BRIC countries are, and you're confused by that. Well, if you're confused, probably other people are, and you can send in your question here, and I'll answer it for the whole class. And that way, if you have a question, you can go out on this form and see if it's already been asked. So that's the questions tab. The project, we have a project due in this class, which is worth 10% of your overall grade. Now, if you click on this project, what the project's going to be is it's going to be a blog where go out and you'll find an article or video and that's related to the course, and you'll be required to make 2 blog entries, one by February 15th and one by March 15th. There's an example of what I'm looking for. So here's an example of a blog, right? So I put a link, what is real wealth, a short description of the highlights, and my opinion on it. Fairly straightforward, keep it simple, and what will happen is your grade for the project will be 30% based on your first blog, 30% based on the value of your second blog, and then when everybody's done blogging, there'll be a quiz that will come out. That'll be due April the 1st. All the due dates, I think, are up. Yeah, all the due dates are up here. And what the quiz will be is it'll be some multiple choice questions on what all of us as a class have found interesting and have blogged. So that'll be the project for this course. If you need study reviews stuff, they're all right here. When we come up to tests or study guides and sample questions. Some people want to see all the PowerPoint, so there's a link to that. The My Grades gives you your current age average in the course at any time. And then down here are some student support and career and employment issues information. So as I said, this top part is background. The middle is what we'll use most of the time. And then down here is some support stuff. So any questions, just email me, email Mr. Rankin, the tab's right there. Or if you have general questions, just hit the questions. I'll automatically get an email. Thanks, and look forward to a great semester.